of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th when every red tag machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at the 27th and I-80 location.
Imagine hitting rewind on your life 10, even 20 years. With testosterone therapy from Limitless Male, you can turn back the aging clock and get your edge, energy, and confidence back. If you've lost your drive, sleep deprived, muscle loss, belly fat, irritable, you're not the guy you once were. Get your T levels checked at Limitless Male. More and more men are realizing hormone replacement can turn back the clock. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People Seeding Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You never think cancer will happen to you. I smoked for over 40 years. My doctor recommended that I get annual lung cancer screening. They were able to catch my cancer at stage 1. It's never too late to quit. Even if you're still smoking, you need to ask your doctor about annual lung cancer screening. Just 30 minutes a year could save your life.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Husker fans know when you work together, great things happen. At Cornhusker Bank, they're more than your financial partner. With 5 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Omaha, they're your neighbors, your teammates, and your biggest fans. Whether you're saving for your first home, planning your future, or growing your business, they're right here in Nebraska to help you move forward together. Visit cornhusker.bank to learn more. Cornhusker Bank, member FDIC. Doing life together.
Deciding on a college with your high school senior can be a little overwhelming for parents. But applying for money to pay for it is simple. FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, is now easier than ever with fewer questions and faster fill-out times. If you have a high school senior, now is the time to apply for thousands of dollars for classes, books, and housing. Get started, Nebraska, at dothefafsa.org. Sponsored by Education Quest Foundation. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm, safe, and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th when every red tagged machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location.
Imagine hitting rewind on your life 10, even 20 years. With testosterone therapy from Limitless Male, you can turn back the aging clock and get your edge, energy, and confidence back. If you've lost your drive, sleep deprived, muscle loss, belly fat, irritable, you're not the guy you once were. Get your T levels checked at Limitless Male. More and more men are realizing hormone replacement can turn back the clock. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown. 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome in. Don't Punt Hour. We got the morning Pierson-El, Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. If you guys want to join in, 402-464-5685. Just wrapped up with Above the Noise. And Genesis Gibson, Ashley Mitchell, Emma Spence, all in his studio. It was a lively hour. I'll give you that much. You can always go back, watch it. Lots of laughs in that one. We do got volleyball going on right now. Not on the brick and mortar, but currently third set. Huskers won the first two. It's 4-4 in set number 3 here. And if Huskers pull off this set, then that makes them 23-0 and still yet to lose a set to a Big Ten team, which is unreal. Illinois, 12-9. Nebraska, 22-0. Like I said, they pulled this one off. They're 3-0, and we will have the post-game show. It'll be likely me and Raph, and then Mandy Monson will hop in as well, and me and DeMornay Pierson-El will probably end up talking about it as well, considering how fast this game's going along here, if they can pull off this sweep. But with all that being said, also I should mention Raiders, Broncos on the brick and mortar. Raider Nation up 7-0. How about that? How's it going? DeMornay Pierson-El on a Thursday night.
Not too bad. Not too bad. You know, the Raiders are winning right now. They're looking decent, you know, so it's okay.
Yeah, how often could you say that this year?
Hey, easy now.
You could say it for that Bears game for a little bit until you guys drop the case.
You know what? We'll take our wins when we can. Okay?
Hey, you know what? You don't apologize for wins in this league.
Where the picks at? Let's get to the picks. Where's my board?
Yeah, well, we forgot the board. There's you got a notepad, you got a pen in front of you?
We can do a second show.
Okay.
We just scored again. Let's go. There we go. Woo!
Raider Nation scored again?
Yeah.
14-0. What is going? Okay, we're going to just pull up the stats on this one, see what's happening in the NFL.
Lost a flag. They called
it. Genty, 9 carries, 31 yards, and a touchdown. Brock Bowers, 1 reception for 31 yards. And Gino, 9 for 13, 83 yards. doesn't look like the Broncos have had a whole lot of time possession just based on the stats. But that being said, though, we'll talk about UCLA, Nebraska, and then we can do the picks on the other side. We'll get the whiteboard in here. You got Nebraska heading over on the road, Rose Bowl versus UCLA. UCLA, I think it was 3 or 4 wins straight before they got demolished by Indiana. Now, to be fair, Indiana has been exposing anybody who thinks they're good. You got a program who's smelling themselves, they get humbled. Yeah, you don't want to play Indiana when you think you're good. That's been the case for us. That's been the case for Illinois. That's been the case for Minnesota. That's been the case for UCLA, as I think it was like 60-something to 7 or 3. It wasn't a good game for UCLA Bruins, but then they had a bye, which is important to remember. They're coming off a bye, lots of time to prep, very similar to what USC had. They had a total of 2 weeks to see what is Nebraska doing, and now we got to head over there for those versus the Rose Bowl. Just what's your confidence level in this team heading out there, knowing that we got a backup quarterback in?
Honestly, I'm a lot more confident than I think a lot of people probably are. Excuse me. One, they had a good week of practice. I know that for a fact, not just because of what they said, but check the temperature of other, sources. And they said, TJ's looked really, really good at practice. Things are excelling and everything like that. I'm excited. I think he's going to shock a lot more people. Like I said, even when he stepped in there last week, he was confident that you can't, coach. Like, you either have it or you don't. He was willing to throw stuff, and the balls weren't, bad placement. I just think, like I said, certain guys needed to step up and make plays that didn't happen. Now he's in a different mentality of going in and everything like that. Kind of what you're up against. I think Dana has a wider variety of plays to kind of call for him and kind of get him going and everything like that. So I got extreme high confidence in them this week.
Yeah, I mean, everything that DJ Latif has shown doesn't scare me. Like, outside of the ball security, which again, I think that was just getting thrown in late in the game. You're trying to make a play, nerves are running high. You're just simply not holding the ball on the correct side of your body, and then he gets knocked out of bounds. But his accuracy hasn't scared me. He hasn't thrown a crazy ball. If anything, he's maybe taken off and ran too soon, but I'll take that any day as opposed to forcing a ball that isn't there. And he's just going to do stuff with his legs that UCLA can't prepare for. You can prepare for it. He's fast. He's going to want to run, but until you really see it, you don't know what it's going to be with him. How often is he going to be looking to take off? Is Dana Holgorsen going to scheme this heavily with a lot of design QB runs, or is it going to be scramble situation? Or is Dana Holgorsen going to know, like, TJ Latif's actually got a cannon. I've seen it in practice, and we'll catch you off guard by maybe throwing on some of these downs early. Emmett Johnson's going to be a big part of the mix, though.
He has to be.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's where, to me, that's a lot of where my comfort lies. TJ Latif, I don't think have to be this crazy, phenomenal player out there. Although I'm not saying he can't be. It'd be great if he is. But I don't think he has to go out there and be the reason we win, if that makes sense.
He just has to manage the game. Again, if it's slightly over 200 yards or, passing, slightly over 200 passing yards, 1 or 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown, and Emmett has, 25 plus carries, 2 touchdowns and over 170 yards, I'll take that.
Yeah, 100%. I would take anything where Nebraska just looks good, to be honest. Like, I don't care what it looks like as long as it looks good and it isn't, good for one quarter, bad for the next, good for the third, bad to finish.
This is a game to where we have to make it look like UCLA is not ready for the Big Ten. Remember how when Maryland first came into the Big Ten, how a lot of Big Ten teams played them, it just looked different. Remember how Rutgers first came in, it took them some time to adjust to the Big Ten kind of style of things and everything like that. I think this type of game has to be one of those types of games for us to where we kind of are just overpowering them.
Mm-hmm.
It on all fronts, to where I think that type of game can help a young quarterback's confidence, especially heading into late in the season. Another thing which I think will come into play is he hasn't played that much this season. He's a lot more fresher than a lot of other people's quarterback. A lot of other people's, starting defense and everything like that. And I think that can be definitely a positive once he does start to run or, doing certain things and everything like that. And teams know that. I think, they'll be a little bit more handsy. They'll be a little bit more aggressive and keeping their eyes, in the backfield with that people can come open late, and he has an arm capabilities of hitting people, on the run outside of the pocket, deep down, when things break down, because they'll be. I think teams are going to be afraid of his legs. So I think that aspect of what he can bring to it will open up things late down the field, I believe.
I think so as well. And again, the accuracy is what I've liked seeing. Again, it was versus Houston Christian. How accurate are you when the guys aren't? I mean, just being honest, 3 steps behind your receiver. They're going to be, a step behind. Things were wide open in some of those earlier games he played in. Things were not wide open versus USC. And I think I said it yesterday. He had some passes where it went for negative yards, but I was impressed to see him just get it off. I mean, he was going purely on the play. You could have argued he should have just yucked it, seeing what was happening. But, he's had a pressure in his face, and it was just screen passes. But I've seen enough quarterbacks where even the screen pass can be an issue. So he's got enough in him to where if the game isn't put on him to win it, if he doesn't have to throw the ball for 35 plus times or 30 plus times even, and I don't think he will, I think we can bully this UCLA team. Because UCLA, it started off with 4 straight losses. If we just go back on their resume, they lose to Utah 43-10. They lose to UNLV 30-23, New Mexico 35-10, Northwestern 17-14, and then coach gets fired. And then they beat Penn State 42-37. Then they're feeling themselves. They beat Michigan State 38-13, and then Maryland. They beat them only by 3, and then, like you said, Indiana beats them 56-6. They get the bye week, and now Nebraska. So although this team has looked impressive at times, when you really break down that 3-game win streak they had, it was versus a Maryland team that we beat, a Michigan State team that we beat, and a Northwestern team that we beat. So they've beaten the same teams that we've beaten, and they've lost to, Indiana, who I don't think we unfortunately beat Indiana either. So this isn't a UCLA team that, despite when they got hot there, I don't think it's one that we need to be afraid of. Not one that you don't want to disrespect by any means, but there's not a whole lot of excuses
I don't think you take them lightly or underestimate them. Again, you have a quarterback that comes from a different environment. He didn't kind of found his stride and everything like that. They got a good thing going on. Respect that and understand that. But again, like I said, that's why I think it needs to be more so of a welcome to the Big Ten type of football type of game, to where it looks like when the Big Ten plays some of these ACC teams, some of these, former Pac-12 teams, or some of these, Big 12 teams and everything like that, to where it looks like a power struggle. I think if we do that early and often, and I think how you do that is you rely on Emmett even more. And I mean, we've been screaming that from the beginning. I'm not saying,
that's because it works when you do, though. Like every time we go to the well with Emmett Johnson, it's usually been pretty good results.
I think like how they were using him later in the season last year is how you need to implement and start the game. I understand the passes are going to be there and whatnot, and maybe it may be offensive line protective issue or something like that. But like I said, still, even if you get the ball in his hands, he'll make something happen. And once he starts getting going, don't go away from him, because I feel like we've done that a lot this year, and I'm kind of baffled by it.
Even in that USC game, it felt like we were playing it the way we need to play it. Maybe not defensively, although you did hold USC to a pretty low score, but offensively, it felt like we were winning that physical battle for a while. And then we kind of started going back to throwing it around the yard, and it was. I mean, Emmett Johnson, even if it's not Emmett Johnson, like you can make the argument he got enough carries in that game. The way the offensive line's been working, Mosey, Ives, even those guys that we haven't talked about a whole lot because Emmett Johnson's been as good as he is, but those guys have had some good moments as well where, again, even if it's not Johnson, I don't mind going to the well with this run game, especially versus a UCLA team. If Emmett Johnson's not in there, if it's Ives and Mosey, again, if you see our offensive line starting to lean on those guys more and more, just keep going. Keep going there.
Don't let them off the hook.
Exactly. And I feel like that's where USC made mistakes in that game versus us. They let us off the hook. I always point to that first drive that got down to the red zone. You ran the ball down our throat. You yuck it 3 times in a row, and then you end up with a field goal. For whatever reason, you were just leaning all over Nebraska, and then you backed off and you let us catch our breath. And then that entire first half, I felt like they let us off the hook. But same thing for Nebraska, where there's moments in the game to where, I feel like we just let teams off the hook, and it's a little bit of a reward for them when We take some of those deep shots, and I get it. You're in that take a shot territory, but for how often we're just not converting on those, I like us just sticking to the run game. Doing a little bit of what Minnesota did to us.
Yeah.
That explosive stuff will open up if you continue to just lean on it. But you have to continue to lean on it.
And I think what the other reason necessarily of certain those shots and everything like that, because even once we march things down and we get into the red zone and everything like that, we still lose. It's not as efficient as it should be or as it can be. And so I think that's where kind of some of those shots come into where it's like, okay, well, if you can get an easy, bomb for 6, or, honestly, outside of, our 45, I feel our offense is way more effective, way more efficient. And then anything inside the 30, it's like we kind of lose our identity, or we're fighting against ourselves, or, we shoot ourselves in the foot. So
that's one of the most surprising thing for me as well within the Dana Holgorsen era is our red zone struggles. It's not been horrendous, but we definitely bogged down pretty often in the red zone.
And I feel like it's simpler things that we could be doing that, get stuff done or whatnot. I haven't seen Dane Key really on late in the season, on any fade attempts. I know they've gone to 13 for that or whatnot. I haven't seen any slants, basic combination, double slant to, to the flat. That's easy. Spacing for, those who don't know spacing and everything like that. If you're in a bunch setting where, close alignment, somebody over the ball, somebody runs a hitch, somebody runs a quick out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And pick your best matchup. That's easy. Mesh concepts, meaning if you're playing man or if you're running zone and everything like that, you have a man beater and zone beater right in front of you.
I felt like versus USC,
it don't got to be complicated stuff.
No, and versus USC, I felt like that's where we should just gone to more of that basic stuff. And like even the announcers were calling over and over, like about running some mesh routes just to get guys open, because it led to unfortunately a Dylan Raiola injury. But again, just guys weren't able to get open in the concepts that were out there. We could say it's the execution, but at some point you got to figure out what works for you guys. And if it's the coaching, then that's a you problem. If it's not the coaching, then you got to figure out what are these guys good in. Because we got 3 games left in the season. We ought to know what we're good at. Like just Nebraska.
I think we do know what we're good at.
But my problem is when we get to the red zone and say it's 4th and goal and it's 5 yards out and we got to have it. Like, does Nebraska have a play?
Yeah, fade.
And do you like that being the play though?
Depends.
Like, it's been inconsistent.
Depends on who's throwing the ball and who's necessarily going up to get it. I think Key is probably the best with being physical at the top of the route, versus some of the other guys are a little bit lacking in that area, to where meaning I don't want to say like they're not contested, but it's they kind of look for their flag instead of necessarily like just it is what it is, like make it happen type situation. And some of them have gone and made plays and everything like that, but it's not as consistent. I think Dane is probably the one. It doesn't matter to him. He's consistently made those difficult catches. If it's a quick out, we've seen him do that with one hand. If it's a deep over route, we've seen him catch that. If it's one-on-one matched up and the guys pushing you back and you're still regardless still going up and getting it, versus being the nail, not necessarily the hammer. So it depends on what the matchup is. I like that. But I also like, where's Barney on quick outs? Where's Barney on option routes in the middle of the field? Where's Barney on sending him in motion and having him run to the flat as fast as he can? And, you got people running, over routes to pick them or whatnot. And even if you zone it up, okay, well, sit it down in the hole. Simple stuff.
Okay, let's change it up. Now it's 4th and goal, 2 yards out. Does Nebraska have a play?
I think so.
Okay. What is it? Turn around and give it to Johnson?
No, I would like to see either. You could do one or two things. We can do a shotgun or a wildcat formation, and you can sweep right, everybody go right. You can have Harburg come in motion and literally lay everything out, and have Emmett with a full head of speed.
How many times have
we've the times that we've done it,
worked.
We've been successful at it, which is I don't know why we necessarily don't do some type of stretch, some type of outside zone type situation, kind of the running down the middle. That's not our game.
Well, especially with Harbert.
Unless you have him lead block with stuff, okay,
Yeah.
then I get that.
But he's a guy where you need speed.
Yeah,
because and that's why you extend him out, and that's what worked early in the season where he caught some speed on him. Then when he's going, his shoulder, he's going to drive people backwards, but he takes a little bit of time to get going full speed, and that's why I hated when we just try to shove him up the middle because he doesn't have that burst. Once he's rolling, he's great. But and that's why does Nebraska have a play? We've had plays that are successful. But I'm never certain what the hell we're going to do.
I don't know why we don't really utilize like an option pass. Meaning, Dylan's in the shotgun or the quarterback's in the shotgun. You got Emmett. Either in pistol or, offset or whatever. You go one way or whatever. The defense is going to commit.
Mm-hmm.
You have a tight end that leaks out late. The offense is not going to go necessarily 2 yards down the field, especially in short yardage situation and everything like that. You're putting people in a bind. So either Emmett is one-on-one with a corner, maybe a safety. I'll take that chances. Somebody has to fill the hole because if not, you can run it with Harbert.
Yeah.
Again, he all the things that
they'll probably really suck in if it's Harbert. And that's an easy pass.
I'm saying? Easily, and then you can run a corner route. You can run a quick out. You can run a nod over it. Again, you getting options and backside. You can have somebody coming over late as an option. So.
And Dylan's been successful with the RPO.
It's simple stuff like that to where it's basic football. I don't understand why that's not necessarily. And it may be so. They just haven't necessarily called it. But that is a high success rate. I'm fine with the quarterback running it in. Either if it's Dylan or Harburg, I'm fine because they both can, get the tough yards. We've seen Dylan do that. I'm fine with the pitch and having Emmett race to the edge or put his shoulder down and run somebody over. I'm fine with the quarterback throwing to the tight end wide open or something along the lines of that, and there's different things you can do. You can have a corner return to where you can have, the tight end can release late and act like he's going and kind of just stop and sit in the middle because it's going to be zone. Everybody's going to be running to the ball. So, there's different variations of stuff that like I said, I'm not sure that why hasn't, that been in, or if it is, and why hasn't necessarily been called. Because us off the edge is where we are stronger at with anybody, whether that's the quarterback, running back, or you're throwing it.
Well, and, again, we've had success with that in the past, especially with Dylan Raiola. Because with Dylan Raiola, if the credit to him is how good he reads the defense, then that's perfect. It's exactly because he can, if he's that good at it, and when he was given those opportunities, I know we've had some red zone strikes in those exact opportunities where it's an RPO in the red zone and he's making the right decision. Even with TJ Lateef, that's a big time running threat right there. If he wants to just pull it and take off and run himself, you like that.
That, and you can bring somebody on the backside on a like a wham block or a sift block and have them bluff. And okay, now you got three options to one. He can pitch it forward because there's going to be a hole right then and there because everybody's flowing to the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So he can leak out. You got corner, and you got Emmett that can run it, or you can personally take it. So there's different varieties with stuff, and it's at worst, okay, we go back to the old and draw it all up again and pick something else.
Well, with that being said, hopefully they find the answers for that. And they got some stuff that they like to lean on. But we got to go to break here. 24-14. Nebraska's challenging at the last point here to see if they get it back. And if so, I think that's the game. 3 sets. Unless they make a miraculous comeback and Illinois wins this, or Nebraska loses this challenge, and then Illinois rattles off 11 straight points. Well, no, it'd have to be 12 because they got to win by 2 at the very least. Looking very, very likely that Nebraska pulls off another sweep versus Illinois at home. Don't go anywhere. Dumb Punt Tower, tomorrow, Pierson-El, Harrison Arns. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm, safe, and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th when every red tag machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location.
Imagine hitting rewind on your life 10, even 20 years. With testosterone therapy from Limitless Male, you can turn back the aging clock and get your edge, energy, and confidence back. If you've lost your drive, sleep deprived, muscle loss, belly fat, irritable, you're not the guy you once were. Get your T levels checked at Limitless Male. More and more men are realizing hormone replacement can turn back the clock. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You never think cancer will happen to you. I smoked for over 40 years. My doctor recommended that I get annual lung cancer screening. They were able to catch my cancer at stage 1. It's never too late to quit. Even if you're still smoking, you need to ask your doctor about annual lung cancer screening. Just 30 minutes a year could save your life.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Husker fans know when you work together, great things happen. At Cornhusker Bank, they're more than your financial partner. With 5 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Omaha, they're your neighbors, your teammates, and your biggest fans. Whether you're saving for your first home, planning your future, or growing your business, they're right here in Nebraska to help you move forward together. Visit cornhusker.bank to learn more. Cornhusker Bank, member FDIC. Doing life together.
Deciding on a college with your high school senior can be a little overwhelming for parents. But applying for money to pay for it is simple. FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, is now easier than ever with fewer questions and faster fill-out times. If you have a high school senior, now is the time to apply for thousands of dollars for classes, books, and housing. Get started, Nebraska, at dothefafsa.org. Sponsored by Education Quest Foundation. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm, safe, and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome in. Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arndt on the ones and twos. We got DeMornay Pierson-El to my left. And apologies, I thought this candy would be done by now. It was a mistake putting it in when I did. So, DeMornay
Got to be quicker than that.
Give me your thoughts on Nebraska, UCLA, and your prediction real quickly so I can just chew the rest of this candy and swallow it because I was an idiot thinking that I'd get it done in time.
Predictions. Of course, Big Red, got a feeling for that. I'm behind the young quarterback.
All right.
I think he's gonna do well. For a score wise, ooh, that's a tough one.
We're both picking scores, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think so. Coming off a bye week, what is UCLA averaging? Like, what's their scores?
What are they averaging? Good question. Well, the spread is 1.5. Bruins are actually favored.
That's because it's home. 1.5 it can go either way. Somebody might wake up in the morning and be like, I like them today.
That's a good point. UCLA averaging on the year, team stats. Give me a second here.
I mean, they're not blowing teams out left and right. So, I mean, I don't think it's 30.
Averaging 24 points.
I'm about to say, I'll give them 21.
Okay. I'll give them 21-31 Huskers.
21-31 Skurs. Okay.
21-31 Huskers.
I'll go 21-28.
All right. Price is right. Real quickly, before we get to the rest of the picks, Husker Volleyball gets away with a win. We will have the postgame show. It's going to be later tonight, unfortunately, but nonetheless, we might be able to even have it a little bit earlier, depending on when Mandy Monson gets down here. But we will have that postgame show. We'll talk about some of the results in the meantime. Me and Raph will talk about it as well, all the way up until that postgame show. But they take down Illinois. Let's look at the stats here for Nebraska. It was an absolute sweep. Okay, the book's still not done. All right, well, nonetheless, I'll give you the broad picture results. They do get it done in an absolute sweep, pretty dominant fashion. They go ahead, take down Illinois at home. That puts them to 23-0 at the end of the year. And then as soon as they get the official stat book, we can give you some of the numbers as well. But considering that the match got done before me and DeMornay Pierson-El's first segment got done.
Just about.
Yeah, just about. I mean,
it ended at the same time.
Another under an hour and a half match for Husker Volleyball. And just about every match has been like that since they've gotten to Big Ten play. It's been pretty unreal watching this dominant fashion that these guys continue to be on. So when we get the official scorebook.
Do you think this is the most dominant team we've seen?
See, this is so tough.
Or potentially it has the potential to
Potential.
Okay.
Because
it's still early. So,
yeah,
okay.
We've had teams that are undefeated and then they lost the national championship to Texas. So it's a brutal, it's like if this is Nebraska football, we'd be crying tears of joy. But Nebraska volleyball has been good for so long that their expectations are different. I will say, though, this is the most maybe dominant they've looked.
Yeah, wow.
Like, how many times, just take a guess, how many times have teams scored 20 or more points in the month of October?
Maybe twice.
Yeah, 4 times.
That was close.
And volleyball?
Eesh.
That's unreal.
Getting them out the way.
That's like, I mean, that's pretty close to what that 95 Husker football team was doing.
Potentially.
And then, like, that's where is this the best team we've ever seen? I don't know. But if they finish the season like this, then yeah, that's like 95 Husker football territory.
It's debatable if they do what they're supposed to do.
Exactly. Like, it'll be, and again, you don't want to talk too forward in the future, but if they finish what the ultimate goal is, which is winning a national championship, and if they stay only, 7 regular season games left now, and then it's postseason play already, and if they make it, win the chip, it's going to be hard to look at that team and say they're not one of the best just athletic teams to ever come across the University of Nebraska. Because you go 95 football team, pick a year of volleyball won it, I'm sure. You can go on I'm assuming the Jordan Larson era. Maybe a gymnastics team way back in the day.
Is wrestling in this? Because, I mean, Burroughs, I mean, you have to throw him in there.
That's an individual, but wrestling in itself is one of those programs that is probably belongs in the mix, and Burroughs is probably on that team. Because, say what you will about Nebraska, but them consistently being as one of those premier programs in wrestling. I mean, Nebraska wrestling was essentially Penn State in a way where they're always in the mix. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to win it. Wrestling's also just in a league of its own where Penn State's no one's been able to take down that monster. And even last year, they broke the record for most points in championship match.
It was close.
And Nebraska was the story, though, because everyone's like, all right, Penn State. Yeah, shut up. We know. Nebraska was the story. It really was, because that was truly shocking. Not to the people back at home that knew about him, but it was to the rest of the wrestling world. Okay, so Nebraska volleyball, since they got on the TV at least, hitting percentage 488. Oh, my Lord.
See you.
And Illinois, for reference, was under 10%, 9%. And Nebraska was at about 50%. That is unreal. Nebraska also had 4 aces and 7 blocks as well. For reference, Nebraska is already number 1 in the country in hitting percentage at about 35%. The next closest team's at about like 31%. They just went about damn near 50% percentage after this one. Shout out Husker Volleyball. Man, be sure to tune in when Mandy Monson gets here. She'll have break it down for us. I'm sure she was at the game, but I'll tell you everything about it. But quickly, on to college football, and we'll give you more on volleyball on the other side. Let's pick 5 games here. Since we already picked the Nebraska game, we gave our score predictions for that one. The very first game that we're going to select from Des Moines Pierson-El is, I just had it, number 7, BYU, undefeated. On the road, facing 1 loss, number 8, Texas Tech.
On the road at Texas Tech?
Yep, and it's also a morning game, which is a bit surprising. You got a number 7 versus number 8, 11 a.m. at Texas Tech.
I want to go Texas Tech.
Damn. Me too.
I want to go Texas Tech.
No, you know what? Give me BYU. Give me BYU. You know why? Because Arizona State beat Texas Tech.
What is that, Arizona State?
It was. But I had to run down.
That probably pissed them off though. So I'll go Red Raiders.
Okay. Maryland Rutgers. We're gonna have to have some super non-exciting Big Ten games in here.
Give me the Terrapins.
All right. I'm also going with the Terps. It's been a rough year for Rutgers. I like this game. Or excuse me, we got one more before we get there. Number 3, Texas A&M on the road facing Missouri Tigers.
I'm going A&M.
Okay. That's a safe bet. I'm not going to pick Missouri. The A&M's been dominant. Number 9, Oregon on the road facing Iowa.
Give me the Ducks.
Give me the Hawkeyes.
You, sir, suck.
I don't want to do it, but I have to. I actually don't have to. I just think they'll win. I think they'll find a way to pull it off. Iowa's been quietly really good. They've pushed, out of all the teams that have played Indiana, they've made Indiana look the most human. And what offenses scare you to you, the Ducks or the Hoosiers?
I mean, they're both scary.
Which one's scarier though? I know you're just trying not to say Indiana because that would say that Iowa's got a really good team because they only lost by 5 and they only gave up 20.
I'm going Oregon.
All right, I'm okay with that because that means I get a win. Auburn on the road facing Vanderbilt.
Why must you pick them again? Why? Give me Vandy, man.
Too bad Hugh Freeze is fired. That was a bad game to pick. Yeah, I'm going Vandy as well. What are we at? Do we need one more? Might do more than
That's 5. That's 5 games right there. We can.
Okay, well that's 5 right there. I feel like there's not a. Let's get rid of the Vanderbilt game because this one's more interesting because there's a lot on the line. Florida State on the road at Clemson.
What's Florida State's?
Florida State, their rundown.
What's their record?
They're sitting there at 4-4. They beat Alabama at the beginning of the year, as everyone well remembers, but then they won against East Texas A&M to beat Kent State. Then they lost to Virginia. They lost to Miami. They lost to Pitt. They lost to Stanford. They finally got back with a 42-7 win over Wake Forest, and now they're on the road facing Clemson.
What's Clemson's record?
Clemson is 3-5. They lost to LSU at the beginning of the year, as we all well remember.
Give me FSU.
Then they beat Troy. They lost to
Seminoles.
You went with the Seminoles? Wow, Clemson lost to Duke.
FSU. So who are you taking?
Yeah, FSU. Didn't really matter that we swapped that game out, did it? No, I just I can't get out of my head how despondent the Clemson team is being the Sweeney right now. That's going to be such a hard room to turn around.
Is he the next coach to leave in college football?
It might be, which is crazy because beginning of the year, we were kind of talking about it like it was a far-fetched chance, and now we're all the way here, and that loss to Duke really hurt. And boosters just need a reason and a check, and they can get their way more often than you'd think. How many different games do we even have on there? 1?
Yes. 2.
Okay.
Because you got I went Ducks, you went Iowa.
Oh yeah.
You went BYU, I went Texas Tech.
Okay, I like that. No, that's
2.
good. That's good. All right. With that being said, we'll throw it to break. We'll give you better details on the volleyball game since that one's wrapped up. Nebraska volleyball 23-0. They sweep Illinois. They do it with nearly a 50% hitting percentage. Unreal. Unreal. Sorry for anybody who's got us on their schedule. Don't go anywhere. We got one more segment on the other side. This is the Dump Punt Hour with the morning Pierson-El and Harrison Arns.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
This fall, Baumgars has everything you need to get your farm ready for the season. Stock up on livestock feed, deer corn, and pine shavings to keep your animals fed and your farm running smoothly. Need tools for your fall projects? Grab DeWalt power tools and grass seed to keep your fields in top shape before winter. From your barn to your backyard, Baumgars has you covered. Get ready for the season with everything you need to finish those fall fix-ups. Baumgars, field, farm, and fall fix-ups.
Are you looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through October at Landmark Implement, get up to a 24-month waiver on select John Deere tractors and combines, or lock in a 2.9% fixed rate for 36 months, followed by a qualified standard rate for another 36 months. Whether you're thinking of this year's harvest or planning ahead, we've got a solution that works for your bottom line. Visit your local Landmark Implement for more details, or check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Schaefer's is celebrating its 79th anniversary with special rebates, financing, savings, and free delivery store-wide.
Update your home with innovative Samsung appliances and save up to an additional $900 with rebates. Samsung Innovation saves you energy and time with easy-to-connect appliance technology. Plus, during Schaefer's anniversary, get free delivery on your appliance purchase.
So hurry in during Schaefer's 79th anniversary event, going on now.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Nebraska farmers, harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sapp Brothers Petroleum launched the Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. When you contract your fuel with Sapp Brothers, enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. As Husker Country knows, the only thing stronger than the roar at Memorial Stadium is the drive of a farmer putting food on the table. Fuel your farm with Sapp Brothers Petroleum and enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. Visit sapbros.net today. Sapp Brothers Petroleum, fueling the heartland. Go Big Red.
If the power is out, traffic lights might be too. If you come across a dark intersection, treat it like a four-way stop. See more tips at les.com/safety.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
This fall, Baumgars has everything you need to get your farm ready for the season. Stock up on livestock feed, deer corn, and pine shavings to keep your animals fed and your farm running smoothly. Need tools for your fall projects? Grab DeWalt power tools and grass seed to keep your fields in top shape before winter. From your barn to your backyard, Baumgars has you covered. Get ready for the season with everything you need to finish those fall fix-ups. Baumgars, field, farm, and fall fix-ups.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Demorne Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment, Don't Punt Hour, Demorne Pierson-El. And like we mentioned, Husker Volleyball gets the win. Demorne Pierson-El, what do you think the most points they gave up in a set was this time around?
15.
Yeah, 15.
I've seen that. That's why I knew that. I think it was 11, 15, 14. I've seen it.
Yep, 11, 15, 14. That is exactly how it went. And Nebraska obviously scores 25 in all of those. So most they gave up was 15 and a really dominant opening set where they only give up 11. And then, as you mentioned, their best was 15. And then the third one, 14. It's crazy. I mean, Nebraska is able to go to their bench. They have answers there. They have matchup problems. And what you're seeing is teams
meeting a buzzsaw and getting chopped down. That's what it is.
They're trying to avoid the buzzsaw.
Well, you can't.
No, they can't. What you notice with this team, and shout out to Jalen Reyes for pointing this out in the texters, but so in order to beat Nebraska, teams are just serving like crazy. They're just trying to put as much damn heat on that thing as possible because they know if that thing if it starts to become a volley back and forth, they're just not going to get the point. I'm not kidding. That's why you see the service errors spike when teams play Nebraska because they are just like, all right, Put some heat on it. Come on, we can't get into a volley with these guys, and that's part of why you see a lot of these lopsided, because you'll see Nebraska go on runs purely from teams failing to get serves, and it's because the teams are just putting so much heat on them, and they're over serving a lot. So it really just shows the kind of fear factor that teams have for Nebraska, and it's not even to like disrespect other teams. It's just legitimately what is happening. To be honest, I'd probably follow that game plan too if I had to go against Nebraska. They said number one in the country, especially after Texas took 2 straight losses back to back. I'd have to look at when Texas, they might, if they played tonight as well, see if they won or lost, but I think they don't play till this weekend. But just goes to show how dominant Nebraska sports are. Well, Nebraska volleyball, I should say, is here in the state. Is there anybody even close to the volleyball dominance? Where do we go? Volleyball, then bowling?
Yeah.
Wrestling?
Yeah.
Because wrestling's always been the top 3, top 4.
Yeah. You could say that. I mean, bowling got national championships too. So
yeah, they just won.
So bowling's up there. Bowling might be first.
Shout out to Jillian Martin going to Hong Kong again this year for Team USA. Just to kind of put the bar on there. It's like, you got Team USA and then some of the other programs. I'll just say that. So let's hope that we can follow in the foot of what the bowling program, what the volleyball program is doing. And then honestly, shout out to the men's basketball, women's basketball program. Pretty solid starts for both those guys. And even for football, I'm saying it tongue in cheek here, but hey, you're 6-3. We've been begging to be bowl eligible forever.
That's
We're bowl eligible now
2 years in a row.
Yeah,
so
you got 3 games to get more.
It's not the end goal of where we want to be, but it's a stepping stone in the right way.
That's the best way to put it. Certainly a stepping stone in the right way. And 3 games left. And I feel good about TJ Lateef. I really do.
I do too as well.
Like, he's a 4-star athlete for a reason. He seems like, let's just be real. Like, if you're TJ Lateef and you see your starting QB get sacked like 9 times,
why not you? Why not?
Well, you start thinking like,
why not?
I better get ready.
Why not?
That guy's been getting hit a lot, and
in his mind, I was like, I'm not getting hit.
Nope. Well, he can take off.
Exactly.
So I like it. And I will say it's Dylan Raiola. He's been, I think, a pretty solid leader through it.
And he's still around and everything like that. So he'll still be coaching and seeing certain stuff. So
that's exactly
go out there and let it fly. I mean, And
when you got questions, you got Dana Holgerson, you got Thompson, you got Dylan Raiola. You got some great minds that break it down for you on the sideline if need be. But no, I'm optimistic. One more time. What was your score prediction?
21-28, Big Red.
21-28. Where did I go? 31?
You said 21-31. That's
easy. Big Red. All right. Appreciate you guys listening. Don't go anywhere, though. Me, Chris Raff, will join you next. And then, as I mentioned, we still got volleyball postgame show when Manny gets down here. All of that on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Appreciate you guys listening. Don't go anywhere.